So especially for Easter, especially after the election, when Easter all of a sudden took on this new meaning for me, because Easter just always seemed like kind of a frou-frou holiday to me before all that. Um, but so Dad was down here, and I was like, just like on a whim, like, do you want to come to Easter service with me? And he was into it. So it was the first time I can remember my dad going to a church service that was not his church or a church that he was speaking at my entire life. I never remember that happening. Certainly the only time he's ever gone to like an Episcopal service that I've been aware of. And so it was like we didn't go to the church I usually go to, which has a lesbian priest and it's kind of bigger and more. It's not really urban because it's Pensacola, Florida is the next town over. That's the biggest city. But we went to like the littler Episcopalian parish that's in the tiny town nearby. That's a little bit more kind of moderate country church, but still like Episcopalian. And it was beautiful. Like it was just, saying these prayers with my dad, just like there was something just so healing about it. And it was such a huge gift, for him. Like he does not do things that he doesn't like to do. And so for him to take a couple of hours, and he doesn't do things that make him uncomfortable. Like he's created this little empire that caters to him. And so for him to put himself outside of that comfort zone was a really, really big gift. And it was awesome. Like we, praying together, singing together, getting our sins forgiven together. Like the whole thing it was one of the most meaningful experiences I've had with my dad that I can remember. And my mom was there too, and my husband, and it was great. And so a couple of days later, it wasn't exactly a quid pro quo, but my mom really wanted to go see this movie called Unplanned. Horrible movie. Do not see it. And my dad, of course, because it's an anti-abortion movie, was like, yeah, I'll go. And we also love to go to movies. It's something we do a lot as a family. So I was like, well, they just did this beautiful thing for me. Also, like, I kind of wanted to go for research purposes, like I'm just kind of curious about the framing around abortion. And I've thought about writing more about it, more than just like a Facebook post, because it really, even talking about climate change, right? It's the big reason that people vote Republican, and which is a big reason we haven't seen more action on climate change. So it's kind of a ripple effect that still affects my life. Anyways, I could talk about my thoughts on abortion for a long time. But anyways, so I went and sat between them. My husband refused to go. He was like, there's no way in hell that I'm spending 2 hours doing that. And so I was just, it was a traumatic experience, to be totally honest. I'm laughing about it now, but there was nothing funny about it in the moment. Like it was, aside from just being like a gruesome and poorly put together, poorly produced movie, there was clear propaganda. What really was disturbing for me was like, I'm sitting between my parents. I'm their oldest child. Like I'm the child that they really wanted, like that they prayed for and that they waited for and that they were so excited to have and that changed their lives. Not that all my siblings didn't, but the first one. And I'm like screaming for help for their help on climate change, that would be the big one for me, which is already directly impacting my life. Like we could get a huge hurricane that wipes us out this year, like within a couple of weeks, and it's certainly like I'm not having children. I don't have children largely because of climate change. They don't have grandchildren largely because of climate change. And just like, I've been working on it 15 years and they've just, for the most part, ignored me. And they've ignored me because of this theoretical fetus that's being portrayed in this gruesome movie. And it's just like, why can't you protect your own child? Like your own children, like the ones who are already here. Why are you ignoring us because of this life that you're fighting to be born into a world that you're destroying? Like it was just such a cognitive dissonance, and it made me so upset. And so just really sad. I mean, it is a sense of betrayal. As much as I love my parents, and as much, there was a bear outside my door right now, I could call my dad and he'd come over and take care of it. It's not like he doesn't protect me in like a day-to-day way, but his politics are endangering my life and the life of everyone on this planet. And that's really, really hard to digest.
Yeah, yeah.